are officially in the playoffs. They are officially in the playoffs. They AI'd one of the players, which is objectively hilarious. I don't know why they kind of brought her in, the dev player, but like they AI'd her in. I do still think that they could have surely brought in a dev player that would play. Like, there has to be dev players around that would play. And like, if they're not going to play, why not bring in Hannah Stokey? Unless Hannah Stokey just didn't want to be it. Because, like, we've seen from Sydney Taylor that getting a training camp spot and getting cut if you're not quite good enough yet doesn't seem to be the move. And again, Sydney Taylor, I'm talking about a Sydney Taylor video tomorrow. I just don't have the time today. If I had 2 hours, I'd be making a Sydney Taylor video. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah. So pretty much we have got a very, very, very good season so far for the Indiana Fever, and look, to clinch the playoffs this early, the problem is with the seeding. And I think the Indiana Fever have a puncher's chance against anybody, including Minnesota. Why? Because they employ number 22. And when she's going off, I've said this tons of times. Like, when Caitlin is going nuclear, you just win. Like, there's nothing you can do to stop Caitlin Clark going nuclear as a team. If Caitlin Clark is going off, and because Kelsey Mitchell does does Kelsey Mitchell things. I'm gonna be honest. Kelsey Mitchell does Kelsey Mitchell things. I love Kelsey Mitchell. Like, she is going to score the ball, and she is going to score the ball probably better than any player in the league. Period. I think she's a better scorer than Angel Wilson. But like, that is what she is. Like, a team being ran by, like, with a one-dimensional scorer as their 1A is never a good team, unless they're built like Allen Iverson Sixers, which is kind of what they were in the playoffs last year. This gritty team, we're going to make it low-scoring games, and we're going to have just this one scorer who's going to give us 30 no matter what the circumstance is, and that's Kelsey Mitchell's superpower. That is Kelsey Mitchell's superpower, but let's be very clear. The Fever's title hopes come down to Caitlin Clark, how well Caitlin Clark is playing. Because if Caitlin Clark, and in Caitlin's defense, like, in Caitlin Clark's defense, she was really, really good in the playoffs 2024. Game 2, anyway. Game 2. And it's one of those things now where, like, I'm confident she'll step up in the playoffs. I'm confident after last year Kelsey will step up. KK, I think, is going to step up. And I think Lexi in the playoffs, those hustle plays matter more in the playoffs. Like, nobody cares about your contract and what it does in the regular season. I don't even care if she misses shots. Just make a couple of hustle plays. And who knows, today might be the day where Lexi Hull figures it out. Because, I'm sorry, if the other Hull City can go out with a team where they have more Leeds Academy, where they're basically the Leeds rejects, and we're not particularly good, and beat the scum of Manchester, then anything can happen with Lexi Hull. If that Hull can win, hell, this Hull can pick it back up. But when they clinched the playoffs in 2024, we remember vividly how much this team shut down. How they shut down. They didn't even come close to beating a playoff team after that. Until game 2 of the playoffs. They got killed by the Lynx. Got killed twice by the Aces. They lost. The Mystics didn't really matter, but it's like, oh yeah, look, we beat we beat the Sparks and the Wings, who were the 2 worst teams in the league. It was like, once they clinched the playoffs in 2024, they forgot how to play basketball. Christy Sides was like, everything that got them there, they went away from it. And I hope that doesn't happen this year. I really, really hope that doesn't happen this year, because if they like, seeding matters, and like you're in home, you're right now you are have home court advantage, but that might not be there for too long. Like you're a half a game ahead of Atlanta, and you're only 2 games ahead of New York. If they lose tonight, which again I'm not going to be live for, but if they lose tonight, they're only 1 game ahead of New York. They've probably lost a tiebreak, and Atlanta go ahead of them on a tiebreak. I think suddenly they go to seed 5, pushing seed 6, and then you're just like, oh shit, oh shit. You're then facing a super informed Chicago team, probably without Caitlin Clark. Because let's be very clear, like after some of the Dejanay shit, like I don't think they'll want to play Caitlin. You're playing New York today, probably without Aaliyah Boston, and it's a really, really tough one. But ironically, if I'm the Indiana Fever, I would rather I'd rather get home court advantage, regardless, because I still think you can beat the Minnesota Lynx. I also have this weird feeling that in a best of 3, the Dallas Wings could take out the Lynx, or the Washington Mystics could take out the Lynx in a best of 3. Like we saw Golden State give them trouble last year. We saw Phoenix Mercury give them the Taurasi Mercury give them trouble. If Fee averaged 30 points a game in that playoff series instead of 40 points a game in that playoff series, like Taurasi's Phoenix Mercury beat them. So we've seen this team struggle a little bit, but yeah, the Fever need to pick it up a little bit. They just don't. They cannot do what they did in 2024. They just can't. If they start doing what they did in 2024, it becomes a bit of a problem. It becomes a really, really, really big problem, and we just can't have that. We just cannot have a situation where this team is out there bullshitting because they made the playoffs, which, again, they did last year. The Minnesota Lynx didn't really care, and the Fever were fighting to get to 6. But like, what you can't do is fall asleep at the wheel. And I'm scared after what the Fever did in 2024 that they might go and do that again. I really, really am scared they might go and fuck it again and pull off the forget how to play ball once they make it. But again, there's different expectations here. There is absolutely different expectations here. But anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys.